I'm ready. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the No Script Podcast. Today's intro is going to be a little bit different, and you guys will see why. Sometimes they call me Bruce Buffer. Ladies and gentlemen, standing 5'4" from the ground, with a record of 38-6, 23 coming with the way of knockout, a 4-time world champion. Please welcome the one and only, the Hawaiian Punch, Brian Viloria.
Yeah, is your throat okay? Guys, hey, good seeing you again, Kia.
You too, man.
You should be an announcer.
I should, dude. I could go way louder and it'll sound way more legit, but the guy
That
above
was
us
super
will.
legit. Hey, Bruce Buffer, watch out, man.
Did you ever have a buffer announce you?
Yes.
You did?
I had Bruce Buffer, yeah. My first world title fight.
Oh my
there.
God. How was
That was a long
that?
time ago. That was like back in 2005. I don't think you were born yet.
That was 6. How old are you? 2005?
Yeah.
You were.
How old do you think I am? I got Asians.
I was gonna
Asians don't
say,
raisin.
based on you being Asian, you're probably almost 40.
Yeah, you gotta take what you think it is and then times it by like 2.
Times it by 2, 62.
I'm 42.
42.
42.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, man.
Damn, you were knocking people out when I was
It's
writing
just
essays
you're
in
still
second grade.
in your dad's nutsack.
Yeah, I was swimming, dude.
Swimming around over there. I'm
Holy
knocking
shit.
people out. Can I swear here on this podcast?
Yeah.
Really? No,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna swear a lot. I'm just saying.
No, you can swear.
Just in
After
case
it's
I
like the
catch
first like
myself.
20 seconds, I think we're good.
But yeah, man, I've been fighting since I was like around 6 years old. Yeah.
That was also, I had a question. I was like, because a lot of people that get into the boxing space say like, oh, I used to street fight before, so I ended up just kind of like working my way into it.
Yeah.
Was that you? Did you like grow up street fighting, or was this like something you were fundamentally?
Nah, I wasn't. I was born and raised in Hawaii. I actually was sent back to the Philippines when I was around 9 months old, and I was raised by my grandparents in the Philippines for like 5 years, and then I flew back to Hawaii. The whole process of my dad getting his green card, he didn't want me to go back and forth because he was doing like travel visa, work visas type of stuff. He just wanted to be, he wanted me to be raised by my grandparents for a little bit, and then when I went back to Hawaii around five years old, found out I had a brother who was already 3 years old.
Damn.
Yeah, he was bigger than me, and found out what McDonald's was. So I was like, my brother was bigger than me because I guess
Yeah.
and I was like, "You guys got food here?" I was in the Philippines struggling, dude. Like you gotta like go drive through. So I was kind of like, man, you guys like hid this from me for like 5 years, right? Kind of sad. But then the reason why I got into boxing is because my dad wanted me to do sports at one point, and then I was kind of bullied when I was young.
Was it for being small or?
Not.
I don't want to call you small. I'm not to call you
It
small,
was
but
more because it was as a kid I was like I couldn't speak English that well. I was from another. Even when I was born in Hawaii, I was raised so Ilocano, which was a dialect in the Philippines, was my first language, and so I couldn't speak it. And people, I remember kids were like teasing me. Fob, that thing. Oh, you fob, fresh off the boat. Blah, blah, blah. But I was like born there, But I learned English really quick after that. But
did you have to physically defend yourself?
there was a couple of times I was bullied. Yeah, there was like big Samoan guys in Hawaii. I was like trying to pick on me. Hey, what's up, little Filipino boy?
Damn.
So I had to fight them on the streets. So, but that's not where I first started. I was like, my dad brought me into like judo first. So I got started with judo, did a year of that, and then he brought me to a gym when I was 6 years old, a boxing gym, which had like 2 world champions at that point, and learned how to box. My family loved boxing.
That's what I was gonna ask. Were they into boxing?
Yeah, the Filipino culture loved boxing. It was like boxing, basketball, and pool, billiards.
Who were the guys you were looking up to at the time?
At that time, it was Sugar Ray. I looked in Mike Tyson. I love watching, seeing him fight and watching him on TV. Guys that was around my weight division. Like Pacquiao was even big yet at that time. So I was looking at a lot of the amateur fighters growing up, and that's when at 8 years old, I saw the Olympics on TV. I think it was the '88 Olympics, and that I already had a fight. I had like 20 fights already by the time I was 8.
The 20 fights?
I had like 20 fights, yeah.
When you were 8?
Back in the '80s, they didn't care. You know, there wasn't all this safety protocol thing.
They just kind of wrote your name on a piece of paper.
They pretty much just had like every weekend they had like a club show, but it was like sanctioned. It was under USA Boxing. It was under the PAL Boxing Club.
So the record would
it was a record. Yeah, it was recorded.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had a little amateur book that I had that every time you would weigh in and do fights, they would write your win or loss record. So yeah, by the time I was done with the amateurs, I already had like a book like this thick because it had to be stapled over it.
Were you undefeated?
No, I wasn't. I had like close to 300 fights.
Holy crap,
yeah, man. You know, I think I always joke around with people. Like, I think the biggest accomplishment was coming out of that system with a couple brain cells.
So 300 fights by the time you were what age?
By the time I was like 19. Yeah.
Wow.
We fought a lot. I fought a lot going through the amateur system. I cleaned out like my state of Hawaii. Like nobody at one point after I won my first national title, my junior Olympic title, none of the people in Hawaii wanted to fight me anymore. They were like seeing me on the brackets and like, oh man, I'm just gonna pull out of this tournament.
Yeah.
But I was going through every tournament, so I was winning tournaments on walkovers. You know what that means?
No.
They will like go in the ring, middle of the ring, and they would just raise your hand.
Wow,
And
dude! You just show up,
I would just
get wrapped, walk up, and we'll just
win.
put you.
Yeah. So to me, at that one last year that I had, I was like, man, I can't learn like this. I can't get better. And so luckily, the Olympic Education Center at that point was in Michigan, and so they had a program for fighters that could go to school and box and chase their Olympic dreams. So the recruiter saw me at one of the national tournaments. I'm like, hey, we want you to get on board with the system, with the program. But at that time, I was only 15. I'm like, I didn't want to leave yet.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Michigan. I want to be with my friends. I want to be a kid a little bit longer before, I pack up and leave. And so for a couple of years,
Did you not end up doing that then?
I did.
Oh, you
I
did?
Yeah. I wanted to graduate with my friends first in high school. Because they already wanted me to go to Michigan and start off my program there already at 15. Wow. But I was already like a sophomore, junior in high school at that time. So I was like, man, should I go? Should I stay? You know what? I got a couple more years to stay and be with my friends, and then I'll decide to leave. So after I graduated, I walked. 3 days later, I was on an airplane going to Michigan.
Damn. So what was this? At what point did you get the nickname Hawaiian Punch? Was it when you were an amateur doing all this?
Yeah, that was exactly that. I had 2 nicknames. I was called the Killer Bee.
Killer Bee.
Yeah, 'cause my first name, B. Everyone used to call me B. So they used to call me Killer Bee. And it was Hawaiian Punch. But Hawaiian Punch is the one that stuck to me towards my professional career.
Yeah.
But I remember in the amateurs, my teammates back in Michigan were like, every time I would go in the ring, they all would buzz. Bzzz, like a bee.
That's funny. That's cool. I know. I do like Hawaiian Punch more, though. That sounds like...
Yeah. I didn't like the drink because it's too sweet.
The what?
The drink. Hawaiian
drink?
Punch.
Oh, that is a drink. I didn't even think, damn, dude.
Yeah. It's like trying to get them to sponsor me, but they didn't like getting sponsored.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have any sponsors when you were fighting? Like massive sponsors?
At that time, like Adidas, I had some gloves, winning gloves, shoes, Mizuno's.
The reason I ask, is it true? Because I don't know. Because like this is something Stuart told me.
Yep.
So he was like, depending on where it is on your shorts or whatnot, the sponsor costs more money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like your
The
front
closer it
foot
goes to
is
your
more.
crotch.
That costs more money?
No.
Like right on your crotch every time.
No. That's where I want my...
You got like
Put it on
10
his crotch.
layered right there.
Put it right on his left butt cheek and his right butt cheek.
His left nutsack.
But there's fighters that would actually have real estate on their trunks be priced out. So maybe $500 there or $1,000 on the front, depending on where you can get exposed a little bit more. I remember back in like early 2000, they would have like little tattoos on their back.
Like of sponsors?
Yeah, like sponsors. They're
Tattoos?
Like, not like they would draw it out with a marker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look it up. It was I forgot what it was called. It was an online site for gambling at that time, like Palace. I forgot what it was called. But they would have it on the back, on their back. They would draw it out before their fight. So they
Really?
come out. They'll take the robes off.
Now, would
You'll
they
see-
look like legit tattoos, or would it just look like Sharpie?
It looked like Sharpie.com.
Holy shit.
And then they banned it. Later after that.
Oh, is it banned?
If they banned it, didn't look so like it looked kind of
That's 'cause
like
it looks
ghetto.
stupid.
You see like you'd be like on national or the world TV, the world stage, and you just see somebody just scribbled.
It's
their-
like
their company.
www.wikipedia.com on his back.
Yeah. So
But it
look
like
it up.
doesn't fit, so it's like going like that on
All
the
the way
side of his
around.
back.
Yeah. It's
Did
like,
you ever
"Damn,
do
you can
that?
No. They asked me to do it, but I just thought it looked so cheesy, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want that written on my back. You know what I mean?
Are there any sponsors that have like exact deliverables where it's like, if you win, you have to point at it at the camera or something?
You know what? I don't know. There's some guys that were just like, I've seen it where they put a hat on as soon as you win.
Yes, that's what. Yeah,
Like they put a hat on. I've seen that. They'll throw a shirt on you, just to get exposure, which is cool. I mean, I respect it.
yeah.
I respect
Imagine
it.
you like lose, but you have to do that. Like you just get knocked out. Your coach walks up and puts a hat on you, and you're on the floor. Celsius. You're just out.
That's a
dude.
good marketing strategy.
Kinda
You know what I
funny.
mean?
Win or lose, you gotta do it.
Put a pillow.
McGregor's got his broken leg on the floor, dude. The dude.
Yeah, that's a great marketing strategy. You got to take a look. Like as soon as your sponsor just runs up into the ring and just throws a
The dude's
pillow
dying.
on you.
Oh, that's funny.
That's funny. Yeah, that was a great idea though. I never thought about that.
No, I just thought about that when you mentioned like I didn't know it could get that ghetto with
Or
writing
have,
stuff
or have
on
the
it.
sponsor on the sole of their feet.
Right.
We get knocked down and like zoom up into his feet. Like, what's that?
Feetfinder.com. Oh, man.
Feetfetish.com.
Dude, you got like a size 3
Shoe
foot.
palace.
So it's like the shoe palace. Dude, these are great ideas.
Yeah, right.
That would sell.
Man, you gotta patent it now. All the guys over there are gonna take
The
your
next
idea.
Jake Paul fight, it says like my name on like, fuck, I don't even know. Dude, he like pulls his pants down. It's on his ass
Yeah,
cheeks.
yeah.
Man.
That's funny. But those are great ideas though. But yeah, man, at that time it was like a lot of fighting. I remember after I walked on my graduation 3 days later, packed my bags, had no graduation parties. There was none of that. My friends called me up like, "Hey, Brian, come over to my graduation." I'm like, "I'm freezing my butt off in Michigan right now."
Yeah.
What? We just saw you last week. I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm chasing my dreams. I got no time."
Yeah. So
Yeah.
did you become an Olympic athlete shortly after you went there?
Yeah. It was like 2 years later.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was with the Marquette, Northern Michigan University. I was there with the team, with the boxing team, and they had other teams as well. They had speed skaters there. They had wrestlers, skiers. So they had different. It was like a program for people that wants to try for the Olympic team. So they would help out. They were like funding us to go to go compete at the different types of tournaments that there were all over the world. Yeah, we were going to like London and Budapest and China and
Wow.
yeah. So imagine being 17 and you're just
Yeah.
like having a dozen or 16 of the best fighters in the nation all living together in the dorm rooms.
Now, are any of these household names that you can mention that people would know?
Yeah, Jeff Lacey was on the same team. Ricardo Juarez, who else was there? Jermaine Taylor, who was a middleweight world champion at one point.
Damn. So you guys were just all moving around fighting.
Yeah.
Was this before you had a professional record, or was this after you were already?
There was before. I was still in amateurs.
Is there like a certain age? How do you go from amateurs to pros?
Um,
Or is it just like certain tournaments?
that's a great question. There's the amateur system is you're under USA Boxing, which is the program that helps with all the amateurs. So you get a book, you get all that, you represent your state or then your nationals when you get ranked. So depending on the different types of, I don't know how they do it right now, but in our days, every tournament they give you a certain amount of points. Like if you win a tournament, a bracketed tournament where like you fight from Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday, they give you 100 points and it goes down. The second place get 90 points. So then they accumulate all that points towards the year, and then that's how they determine who was number 1, number 2, number 3, up to number 10 in the nation. So I was doing almost every tournament, national Golden Gloves, blue and gold. I was doing national PAL tournaments. So every time I won those tournaments, I would get 100 points. I remember my time, I racked up so much points. The number 2 guy under me I was like 1,200 points over him.
Wow.
So he had to like do a lot of tournaments and win a lot of tournaments.
Damn.
Yeah, so I was pissing a lot of guys off during the Olympic trials or even trying to make the Olympic trials because there was 8 major tournaments as an amateur. And I was always attending a tournament. So people are like, bro, you're already in. You're already in the Olympic trials.
Yeah.
Like, why? Give us a chance
Right.
to, you know what I mean?
What weight were you fighting
I
at?
was fighting at that time 106.
106?
Yeah.
Damn.
I was 106 pounds. I would walk around like 120, 115, but I had to come down to 106. Yeah, I was the lightest guy in the Olympic team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, is there like a certain weight where it's like anyone under this just fights? The way it's like, aren't heavyweights like that? Where it's like if you're over this weight, you qualify?
No, you have to hit the limit. You can't go over it, of course.
Is there under you too? Are there people under?
Me, no. 106 was the lightest in the amateurs. And then, so you could have been like 102, but you have to fight on 106. Same thing. Right now, I think they kind of took away a couple of the weight divisions. I think it's from like 135. Now the next step up is not even 47, it's 56. So it's almost like a 20-pound difference. Yeah. So if you're like...
If you're like 140, you got to go up to...
Yeah, you got to fight a 156 pounder.
Holy shit. You got to put on 16 pounds.
Yeah. So you kind of have to gauge where you are. I know. I could be wrong, but that's what my cousin was telling me, who was fighting at the amateurs last year, who's a pro now. And he's like, yeah, man, I weigh 135, but I got to fight at like 147 or something.
At that point, wouldn't it just be better to go to the weight category under you? Isn't it better to
but
go
losing
down?
weight, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but wouldn't you
it's
rather
tough.
lose weight being a big dude than gain weight and fight bigger dudes?
Nobody realizes at the pound or two, that's a lot. When you already got like shrunken down to like the weight and you're like got 1 more pound left, it's hard, man.
Yeah, I mean, you see the videos of the dudes like
Sunk
battling
in,
to try to...
chin, like that. Yeah, and they're trying to spit. And they think cutting their hair is going to lose their weight. It sucks.
Did you ever not make weight?
There's a time where I always made my weight, but there was a couple instances where I stepped on a scale and I was like a half a pound over, and I was always like already drained. Like, oh.
What'd you do?
I had to go in like the sauna, which sucks.
No shaving your head for you?
No. I thought about it. Like
Yeah.
I was that desperate already. Like, man, why did you shave my head off? I'm like, get a clippers. Like, that's not gonna work.
How much weight would that take off? Your hair?
I don't know. My hair is thick.
It's like 20
Not as
pounds
thick
on
as
you,
yours.
dude.
Probably like 50 pounds. But yeah, man, that's one thing I don't miss about boxing right now is just the weight cut. Weight cut is horrendous. It sucks.
Yeah.
But I get it. They you have to fight a guys your size, and that's why people don't realize 5-10 pounds makes a big difference.
Right.
Because of mass, and the rehydration weight. When you come up in weight, you're like, people blow up to like 20 pounds. So you can weigh in at 135 and then fight at 156 the next day.
Really?
Yeah, people do that.
Eating?
By eating, rehydrating, drinking water.
Isn't it? Because I remember before we met with Evil Hero, as they might know him. We were in Florida, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, he like ran from the hotel to the weigh-ins. He was like in body bags. He was trying to put off all this weight. And then he did. And then that night he was like, I'm just going to eat and like regain it. But like his body was like so drained. He ate like 2 pieces of sushi and just couldn't eat anymore.
Yeah. Your stomach just turns into like a pea size thing. You know? And it people want things that, okay, I didn't eat for like a couple weeks, And what I mean by not eating, not saying not eating, just a lot less than you normally would. And then you try to like eat the same way before making weight, it doesn't work. Your stomach is so tight and so small.
Yeah.
And sometimes people get sick and it hurts. You know what I mean? So I when I try to gain back, get rehydrated, I try to slowly intake water, slowly get the food intake in, and I try to scarf everything down as soon as I sit down on the table. You know, it's like, oh, I can eat now. It's not
It'll
gonna
make
work.
you, yeah, it'll.
And there's one time I vomited out. You know what I mean? After I ate everything, I'm like, ugh, it feels
Before the
sick.
fight?
It was like after I made the weight, I tried to rehydrate,
Yeah.
but I was so I was so hungry at that time, and I tried to scarf everything down and eat everything down, and then I was like, I vomited it out. My body just couldn't take all that thing. You know what I mean?
Damn, dude. So then let's go back to when you did become a professional, when you started building that professional record. How long after the Olympics was that?
It was like 6 months. I would say 6 to 8 months after. I was the last person actually on the Olympic team to sign with a promotional company. I remember back then the Olympic committee was trying to have me stay another 4 years, and I was teeter-tottering. I was deciding at that time whether I should turn pro, whether I should stay another 4 years for the Olympics. I think it was in Atlanta at that time, 2004, and like it was hard. It was hard to make the team. It was so much fighting. It was so demanding. The traveling and just not the politics as well. There's a lot of politics that's involved in the sport of boxing, and that I think on all sports. But
Now, how were they trying to keep you? Were they offering more money? Were you even getting paid at the time for that?
as
or-
an amateur, yeah,
Yeah?
they will give you incentives, training expenses they would call it, and we would fight, and they would pay us through training expenses. It wasn't a lot. It was like at that time it was like $1,000 a fight. But for us,
I mean, for being an amateur,
for
right?
being a
you
kid,
were like,
being
damn.
in college, like yeah, we're balling. You know what I mean? So, but we'll fight. But only the top two would get, the top guys in the nation would get paid that way.
Which was you
Yeah,
and someone
so-
else?
And so we would have these tournaments called USA versus the World tournaments, where every month there will be Russia coming into the United States, and we'll be USA team and the Russian team, and then Mexico will come, or Australia will come, or England. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So they would have tournaments like that, and that's how we got paid, while going to school at the same time.
So then you decided not to continue and go
I
chase your
decided
professional?
after I made the team in Australia, that's when I was weighing it out, talking to my buddies that signed. Like, hey, how's it? Yeah, man, we got paid. I got signing bonus. Ricardo got $1 million signing bonus, and I hear, Jermaine getting $500,000, 20, whatever they were getting at that time for their signing bonuses. I'm like,
Sounds better.
should I go here or should I go there? I'm like,
yeah.
you know what? Let's go. Let's take it to the next stage. And so I signed with Ludi Bella at that time. He signed maybe 6 guys from the Olympic team, and we signed with him because he had an HBO deal, which HBO doesn't do boxing anymore. And he would start promoting us on the East Coast, and I did my first tournament or my first fight in Hawaii, so it was like I brought boxing back home to Hawaii. So we did it in the Hawaii Convention Center, and opened up on ESPN.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's where my career took off in Hawaii. And Freddie Roach was in my corner before Freddie was working with Pacquiao.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Talk to me about that. At what point did Freddie get involved with you?
From the start, from the get go.
Yeah.
Before I signed with any trainer, I did my rounds. I looked all over LA. I thought about going to New York. I thought about going to Miami. But since LA is not so far from Hawaii, I was like, it's better to be in LA. So I didn't have to travel too far. I was offered to go to New York, but it was like, the flight back to Hawaii was like, long. So
Yeah.
so LA, and then my management at that time like, hey, let's go check out this gym in Hollywood and train with this guy Freddie. He's used to be with he trains at that time I believe it was Virgil Hill, and he had James Toney, and my management like, let's go look at him and see how you feel. So I went to the gym. We did mitts. I liked the way he worked. I'm like, hey, Freddie's gonna be my coach.
Yeah. So is that the same gym where I called you from with that? What was her name? Tina working there
Tina?
at the Thai restaurant in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one.
It's
Yes.
funny because I went to this. I was with my
Yes.
girlfriend Brittany. We went to this Thai restaurant, and we get there and we're like, nah, don't know if this is gonna be a great place because the only things open.
Tina's is great.
Dude, no, it was good, but
It
the
was
only things
good.
open in the shopping center were like a little AA thing in the corner.
Yeah.
There was a liquor store and this Thai restaurant. So
Yeah.
we were like, and it was like all written in Spanish, like alcohol, something anónimo. I was like,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
shit, I don't know.
No, I love Tina. I've known Tina since back in 2000.
Yeah, but that's the crazy thing. Dude, we walked in, all pictures of like Freddie
Boxing.
Roach, like boxers, everybody, right? So I was like,
See my photo?
that's the thing. I saw Manny Pacquiao, so I was like, damn, I wonder if Brian's. Right when I said that, I was like, damn, Brian's right here. So I FaceTime. It was like a signed picture of you in there.
Yeah, that was a signed picture. It was me winning my first world title. I was on top of
You're on someone's shoulder.
one of my trainer, Michael Foley. We trained a lot of celebrities, including what's his name, James Franco, who was on. I helped him. I helped James and Macca for the movie Annapolis. So if you ever seen the movie Annapolis, he was boxing in there.
Oh, interesting, dude.
Yeah,
Damn.
so he passed away a long time ago. Missed that guy. He was a great guy. As soon as I won a world title, first round knockout, jumped. He picked me up on his shoulders and paraded me. It was in Staples Center, crypto arena now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where I first won my world title. But that's the photo that sits in Tina's restaurant, which Pacquiao and I we used to always go to after we train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know, I saw that. I was like, what the damn.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, like, what was the feeling of, like, Staples Center?
Oh, that
Knocking
was-
someone out in Staples Center. Like, dude, I go to like Laker games and Clipper games. I'm in the nosebleeds and I feel good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I can't imagine what it's like to be like.
But that almost didn't happen. I almost quit boxing because of that. Because of the fight before that. Almost, I came.
No, I
so
think I
close.
read something about this and you had told me before, but
I almost stepped out of the sport because the fight prior to the world title fight, I put someone. I'm gonna say I put someone. An opponent that I fought went into a coma after I fought him. He collapsed. I remember that day where I fought him. It was it wasn't the best fight I had in my career, but it was a rugged fight. And I remember I hit him with this uppercut in, I believe, around the 6th round, and his nose just started gushing out. It wasn't even red. It was like black blood just coming. It was dark, thick crimson, reddish, dark red. And it was weird to me, and it didn't look right. And so he went back, the round finished. He went back to his corner, and I looked over, and I see the ref doing this, like he was waving the fight off. I'm like, did he just stop the fight? In my corner, and Freddie was like, I think he quit. Like, then we win the fight.
yeah.
I shower up, and as soon as I walked out of the shower, my manager goes, "Your opponent just got rushed to the hospital." I'm like, "What? What happened?" He was like, "He just collapsed on his way to the locker room. He collapsed, and he was having a seizure. So they rushed it. Luckily, the hospital wasn't too far away. It was just 5 minutes away, and I believe that saved his life. They found a blood clot in his head. He suffered brain hemorrhage. They had to cut him open. He was in a coma for like maybe 13 days,
Damn.
a couple weeks.
Wow.
And
Did you go to the hospital?
I did, yeah. That's where it really impacted me because I didn't know what to expect. But I remember going there to go visit, and he was in induced coma, and his kids and his wife was there, and that was like, man, this is not what I'm in the sport for. I'm not here to take anybody's husband or their loved ones away from them. So I was debating. I'm like, listen, and I called my family up, and I told my management, if this guy doesn't make it, I'm done. I can't do this.
Yeah.
This is not what I'm in this sport for.
Wow.
Yeah. So We waited. It was, I knew I had a title fight in the horizon, but I didn't even really care about that no more. I just wanted to know his name is Ruben Contreras. I was hoping Ruben was going to just make it out safely and that he would just go back home to his family. And I remember getting a phone call from my manager, and he was like, listen, Ruben's out of coma. He's alive. He's talking. And that was like a big weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, thank God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I remember I talked to him. He doesn't talk real good English, but he said, he told me, whatever you want to do, just keep going, man. Don't let this deter you from your goals. And I'm like, good.
Yeah.
He's with his family. He's like, and I remember Bob Aaron was like, yeah, he's with his family now. We paid off all his bills, and so he's okay. And then that's when I was like, all right, let's go for the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
How long was this little gap between?
It was like I would say 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah,
Wow.
until I fight the world title. So I was training hard. I was ready to go and be a champion.
Yeah.
In Staples Center, and it was under one of the fights. It was a Pacquiao header fight. He fought this guy named Solis that night, and I remember Morales was also on that card fighting this Philadelphia fighter, Rahim,
Okay.
yeah, Zahir
Wow.
Rahim, and I remember they were supposed to. It was a rematch fight because Morales beat Pacquiao the fight prior to that.
Damn.
So they were on a collision course again as a rematch. But Pacquiao won his fight, but Morales didn't win his fight. He got upsetted by Rahim. And that kind of just put everything, the whole idea of, that rematch.
Yeah.
But somehow they kind of, I don't know. To this day, I'm like thinking, I wonder how Rahim would have done against Pacquiao. But Morales had the bigger name because, he was the one that beat Pacquiao.
Yeah. Did
And
Pacquiao end up winning that night?
He ended up, the rematch, he ended up knocking Morales out.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so that night, it was insane. I won the world title in 1 round.
First round knockout.
It's on YouTube if you guys can see it. Yeah, it's against Brian Viloria versus Eric Ortiz. And Ruben Contreras was there, ringside. So I remember walking out, and then one of the producers was like, hey, Ruben's right there. I'm like, I haven't seen him for like months. And gave him a hug. All of us cried because I was like so happy. We're like, oh, you're about to fight, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get yourself together. You're about to
This
go
was
fight.
before you fought.
Right before I fight.
Shit.
He was right there next to the ring. And I was like, and somebody pointed at him. And I looked over. I was like, hey, Ruben. And then I went to go hug him. His wife was right next to him. And, I said, thank God you guys are okay. And then he said, good luck. And then I was about to cry, but I'm like, put yourself together. Jumped in the ring.
Damn, that's
Took
crazy.
1 round. Yeah.
Damn.
You see all this. So it was crazy.
Do you have contact with him today?
No, I don't.
No?
It's been years. It's been years.
You were how old at that time?
I was 24,
Damn.
25, yeah. I was going through it.
I just turned 24. I'm sitting here just fucking talking to people. You were over there knocking people out. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was fun. And then that's when I blew up on the Philippine. The country saw it. The country saw me win because for some reason I was on, that photo that you saw.
On the back?
Yeah, I was on top of Macca's shoulders. And
Did that photo go viral or something?
no, my dad gave me a flag, but I didn't know until after I saw the fight. Like I watched the replay.
Oh.
You could have gave me a Russian flag, or
He could give you a sponsor or something, right?
You could have gave me the rainbow flag. I'll be like,
Dude, that would have been. Oh my God.
I would have been waving that thing. But I was like, it was my dad gave me the Philippine flag, for my heritage, and then I was in the locker room, and my manager hands me over the phone. He goes, "Hey, the president of the Philippines wants to talk to you."
No way.
Yeah, I was like, "Wait, what?" Because the whole country of the Philippines just saw you win the world title in
That
1 round.
night?
That right. I was in the locker room right after the fight. We were celebrating in the locker room.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, my manager hands me the phone, and it was Madame President at that time was Arroyo. And he
Dude,
was
that's
like,
like, oh my, that's a movie.
yeah,
Holy
and I
shit.
was like, hello? He's like, Brian, we just seen you watch the win the world championship. We would love to have you, you know.
You know, it'd be funny if it was like your dad's friend or something just messing with you, just trying to like motivate you for the next fight. Like, trust me, it's the fucking president.
And I was like, oh, my dad is like, yeah, we want you to come to Malacanang Palace to have dinner with us.
Really?
Yeah,
Did you
like-
go?
Yeah, I didn't have a passport that time, but I had to get it expedited because I went with Pacquiao. And
Holy shit.
Yeah, I went with Pacquiao, and Manny was like, yeah, we'll wait for you till. So in 2 or 3 days, I got my passport. It was just like rushed over to me, and then we flew to the Philippines. Me, Pacquiao, had the green belt, and we did a motorcade throughout the city. It was like so many people,
Really?
many people, and you know at that time Pacquiao was just blowing up on the scene. And so I was right there on the Hummer. He was right next to me, waving the people, showing the bells. People trying to grab us to pull us off of the Hummer that we were on.
Damn.
That was fun. Yeah.
And what was
that
the palace like?
It was great. It was the reception was amazing. A lot of taking photos. I remember that. I think I got blind from all the flashes. It was just the reception was incredible. It's amazing. It was a whirlwind, to be honest with you. It was like 2 weeks I was in Manila, and it was like every day. I remember I walk into a room and I just lock myself in there. I'm like, I gotta take a break, because I was
Really?
doing
Holy
so
shit.
much. It was so much media, so much like just doing the rounds. You know what I mean? We're saying that by the rounds, like doing media rounds, talking to this network, talking to that network. It was just everywhere. There was yanking me all over the country.
Was it not? It wasn't like that for you before that.
No.
That was the start of it all.
That was
huh?
like the start,
Your dad
yeah.
giving you the flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like every time I fought on Pacquiao's cards, it was like watching the country. It was like zero. Every time Manny fought, it was like zero crime rate. Like, seriously, look it up. No crime rate. Everybody just puts their guns down, wherever is warring at that time. I just say, let's just watch the Pacquiao fight. So for like a
What?
few hours, like no crime. It's like crazy.
Damn.
So I was like, what if we fought every single day, like no crime, like every
Yeah,
single day?
man, dude, that's some crazy level of influence. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
that's insane. And I remember when Manny walked in the first day he got there. I remember that day like it was just yesterday. I was hitting the bag, and I tell people this story. I'll tell you. So I was hitting the bag, and then Freddie goes, he taps my shoulder. He goes, Brian, look at that guy in the ring. I'm like, who's that? Some kid from the Philippines. He goes, yeah, they asked me to train him. I goes, what do you mean training? Like for a fight? He goes, yeah. When's the fight? Next week. Next week? Who's he fighting? For the title. Ledwaba. I'm like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
Who he's gonna fight Ledwaba? Because at that time Ledwaba was like feared. Nobody wanted to fight him. His fight fell out prior to that. So they were like scrambling around to see if they could find a replacement for that guy. So here comes this Filipino kid walking in, shadowboxing. Ooh, he was like 126.
Did he look
pounds.
good doing it at the time?
His fundamentals was just not there. It was just
Oh,
all
really?
offense. That's Manny. He's not fundamentally sound. Like everything he does, everything wrong, but it works for him.
Do you notice like it doesn't look fundamentally sound, but
It was just
he
it
looks
was
like a
high.
fighter?
It was high energy
Yeah.
all the time. Like it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
If you ever see Manny spar or Manny
I haven't seen
train,
him spar, but I've seen the fights.
it
but
it never stops. It never
just
stops.
keeps
He
going.
has like
I've seen him hitting
much-
a bag, and it's like insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you think like at any moment this guy's gonna slow down.
Right.
It never does.
doesn't.
It just goes up. Like his energy is just it keeps going. And when I was watching him do his shadow boxing, I'm like, I told Freddie, he's fighting Lewaba, so even if he loses, you'll get big chunk of change. So you might as well, and he'll go home. Nobody.
Did he win that fight?
He won that fight.
Wow.
Yes, he was. Oh my God, that's how he blew up. And I was like, who is this guy? I remember Jim Lampley like, I knew who is this kid? I never seen this kid, but I want to tune in again. So he knocked him out. He knocked out Lil Waba. I remember Freddie walking back in the gym. He's like, well, shit, damn. Like, yeah, like. And then he knocks out Barrera and knocks out, he just goes on this steamrolling thing. It just goes through. And I was right next to him every step of the way at that time, just training alongside with him.
So you guys weren't in the same weight?
No. I was lighter. I was in the flyweight division. He was in the, at that time, the super featherweight division.
Would you guys ever fight if you were in the same division or the same weight group?
I don't know. It's business.
Yeah.
I didn't like fighting the countrymen or
Yeah.
people that help my friends. So and then maybe in another alternate universe we fought.
We should go there. Yeah.
But yeah, for me it was like seeing that whole Pac Mania thing happening in front of your eyes and being somehow a part of it. It was insane. It was great. I seen all the behind the scenes. I seen everything that happened. Pacquiao and Freddie used to just come to my apartment that time. That was in Studio City, and we would have like poker nights.
Oh yeah.
Poker, yeah. Every Thursday night, poker night.
Who would win? Are you a good poker player?
I'm not. I don't say I'm the best, but I can. All right, I can hold my own a little bit. Yeah. You play?
I like playing. I'm not good.
No?
It's different. Like you play with like friends. I love playing with friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But then you go to like Vegas. I'm like, dude, I can't compete
Stressing.
with you people. It's like, yeah, they'll like look at you like everyone's like headphones in. Like one little side eye like scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
it's
can't.
intense.
At
But
least, yeah.
But that was a time that James Toney was alongside. It was crazy. It's a crazy time because it was Oscar De La Hoya there. Tyson was training with Freddie, and then James Toney. So I got lost in the foray. So when one of my fights, I was trying to defend my title. There was nothing on Freddie, and I get it. Had some of the biggest fighters and biggest names in the sport. He was training them. And so I was at that time, didn't feel like I was getting the one-on-one training I needed in order to sustain where I was. And so when I lost my first world title, it was very devastating. And I felt like I had to climb back again. I had to climb back. I was fighting in big arenas, MGM and Staples Center. And all of a sudden I lost the title. And I was just put it in the back burner. So I had to do a coaching change at that time. I just went from Freddie, and then I worked with Roberto Garcia, who's also a great trainer in his right. And so, at that time, he had only one world champion. His name was Steven Luevano. And I changed camps. I went to Oxnard and started training with him and won my second world title with him. But I had to climb my way back up. I had 5 fights in swap meet. One of the fights that I tell people, that one of the memorable times was fighting in a swap meet here in South Central LA.
Really?
Yeah.
This was after all that.
After all the big, yeah.
Wow.
It was a big fall from you know what I mean?
From one loss?
From one loss. Yeah, that's how it is in boxing.
Wow.
One loss can set you back a lot, set you back far. So, but it rewards those that becomes very, just wanting to get back on it. If you want to just continue with just the goal, because it could have been easily, I'd be like, forget this.
Yeah.
Hang it up, right? But yeah, somehow life rewards those that continues on doing, even if they fail, just keep going. That's how I was. I'm getting back on the horse. Screw this, whatever it takes. Even if I have to fight in swap meets. Alameda swap meet.
Damn.
I'll do that.
By swap meet, you literally mean the swap meet?
Bro, that fight, it was raining. It was pouring rain. There was like 20 people in the crowd because it was pouring rain, right?
Yeah.
It was it was outside. It was in the parking lot. And the floor was flooded. It was pretty much like 3-4 inches of rain. And so we had these makeshift tents that was like our locker room, but then the rain would come in seeking through. So I told my crew, bro, I can't go in the ring with my shoes wet. So can you carry me in? So I had to jump on Roberto and my cut man's shoulders, and they will carry me in the ring because I couldn't stay. It was flooded, dude. And so
holy shit.
yeah, so wow. I fought that. I mean, that's one of the craziest, funniest memory I had.
Did you win?
I won that fight, yes.
Were you
I
just
made a
like
comeback.
way better than everyone at these fights?
Yeah, it was a comeback fight. So, I kind of had to go back and try to
Back to the amateurs.
regain the momentum I was on prior to me losing the WBC world title.
Oh.
And so that was the one step. And then I went to Mexico and I fought in a bull ring. Bull ring, yes.
Legit.
It was like a legit bull ring. There was like a bull right next to my locker room. And it was like the bull ring. It was like this big
There's an actual bull there?
There were bulls there, yeah. They were kind of in the
Just
back.
like waiting for their
yeah.
turn. Like, who the fuck is this Filipino dude here?
So it was great. It was like that was an interesting experience. That was in Aguas Calientes, Mexico. Kind of
Sounds
central.
familiar. Damn,
And
you
so-
went. Damn, dude.
So-
From Staples Center to the swap meets to the
Swap
bull
meet,
ring.
bull ring.
That honestly, that sounds way cooler than Staples Center to me, bro.
Yeah, that's why it's one of the most memorable because it was like weird, right?
Yeah.
Like man, I fought in like the biggest stadiums in the world.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like the Olympics, and then fighting in the old Staples Center, fighting MGM. Then all of a sudden, I found myself in a swap meet. Like man, I felt alone, but screw it. A ring is a ring. Doesn't matter if it's in a 50,000 seater or a 500 seater.
Yeah.
When this just you and that guy, that's all that matters, right? That's how I took it in. I'm like, listen, it's just gonna be me and him. I don't care if there's 20 people, 20,000 people in the ring.
Yeah.
All right, they're in the arena.
Same
I'm
shit.
still gonna try to take your head off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Damn. How many
But-
people were at the bull ring fight?
It was like a good, like 3,000 people. Probably a good.
Oh, okay, that's huge.
Yeah, it was a big bull ring. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was like a massive bull ring with like 3 people there.
No.
Damn,
It
that's
was-
okay. You sold out
So
a bull ring.
I was kind of working my way back up.
Yeah.
And then I got my chance again to fight for a world title.
Did you?
I did.
Did you
yeah.
win that?
I won that, yes.
Nice.
Yes. But it took me that much. It was like, okay, I got to keep going. And then I got the offer. I'm like, listen, you're going to fight for the IBF. My management tells me. I'm like, great, where? The Philippines. What? Oh. We're going home. Yeah, it was like, damn, we're going to go. Where's Manila? Yeah. What arena? The old Thrilla in Manila, where the last Muhammad Ali fought.
Wow. Is that where you fought?
Yep. Arenada Coliseum. Yeah.
Damn.
Sold out. I remember so much people in there.
Was Pacquiao also fighting on this card?
No, we were the headliner. I was the headliner.
Really?
Yes.
Damn.
Donaire was on that card as well. But I was headlining that card, and I'm like, man, this is a welcome. This is a home. Like a homecoming.
Yeah.
thing.
How did it feel going back?
Nervous.
Yeah.
Because the Philippines is such a big boxing fan, like a fan base. He's huge there. So it's like performing in front of like legends, kind of like Pacquiao and everybody. But I wasn't even supposed to win that fight, to be honest. Like this guy that I fought was on a 9-fight winning streak. He was a champion for like so many years, and that's why he was so confident in leaving Mexico to come to the Philippines to fight me. Because he's like, oh, Brian just lost the fight. You didn't see the other fights I had, but still, everyone wrote me off their books. Like, oh, he's already lost. I don't think he's the same after that. I think, a lot of the headlines were like, I think the Ruben Contreras fight kind of took a little edge off of him,
Wow.
which wasn't even true. It was like, I was just, like I said, I didn't feel like I had the type of training I needed to stay at the top or compete at the top. So this coaching change I had with Roberto, I guess, lit a new fire. I wanted to prove everybody wrong again. And so I did.
You won that fight?
I won that fight. Yeah.
Knockout?
Knockout. That's also on YouTube. Yeah.
Damn.
Knockout, 11th round.
So what was the
Big right
aftermath
hand.
of this?
Oh my God. It was a whirlwind. It was like the loudest I've ever heard a place. Everybody just erupted after that one big right hand I landed. It was a huge right hand. It was almost towards the end of that round. And
What round was it?
11th
11th round.
11th round. Yeah, in the center. And everybody erupted. Everybody just like screaming. I was in the locker room. There was like 1 million people in the locker room. I walked out. It took me an hour just to go from the exit of the Coliseum to like the entrance to the Coliseum because everybody wanted to like. I remember
Stop
them
you,
rocking the truck I was in, the car I was
Yeah?
in. Yeah.
Damn.
They were wanting to shake my hand and pull it out, and it was insane. That was like the most craziest part. Well, I think it was one of the highlights of my career.
Wow. I think our camera died. You want to fix it? Thank you, bro. And then if you could go grab Benny, he's downstairs.
How's it going so far?
Dude, this is great.
Yes.
Yeah, phenomenal, dude. Whew, holy shit, I didn't know all that.
Yeah.
You told me like some stuff out in London, but
Yeah.
some of this stuff is wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You got a movie, dude.
That was crazy. Movie and a half. Who's downstairs?
One of my friends, Benny. Yeah, Arma, you could just leave it on the middle camera and go get him.
We're still recording?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh.
I wanted to talk, when he gets back, we'll talk about sports betting. Because I want to know how big sports betting was at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Just go. I
guess
want
I'm
to
sorry.
talk.
I don't know about. I don't like betting. That's one thing. I don't like gambling.
But in terms of people betting on you, was that a thing going on at the time that you heard of?
Oh man, when I lost my first world title, I had death threats
Because of people
of people betting on me and losing the bet. No, not when I won a world title. When I lost my first world title. You know,
Wow.
I had people coming after me like, "I bet so much on you. I should fucking kill you." Blah blah blah. You know, I know you dropped that fight. I know you sold out.
Oh, that's what they thought.
Yeah. Like, nah, man. I just, didn't have the right type of training for that fight. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that. I'm like, people,
Did you? Yeah, go ahead.
people say, I know you gave up on that fight, blah, blah. I didn't give up on that fight. I fought my heart out in that fight.
Yeah.
To you, maybe it looked like I could have done better, but still, you're the one that put up the bet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I felt that. And I understand the frustrations and stuff, but
Did you ever, I know it's not allowed, but did you ever think about betting on yourself for a fight?
I had jokes about that, with
Yeah.
friends. Like, hey, put out your mortgage, put everything on you, and just lose.
I'll lose the fucker. That's not what I meant, bro.
Put it on the other guy.
I
Bet
did
against
think
your
about it.
opponent.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do that. I've never done that. No.
That would be hilarious, dude.
So,
Brian
put every-
Viloria knocked out before the
Because,
fight
hey,
even starts. dude.
I doubled up and everything.
No, but you know what you could do? There's like certain bets. I don't know if that was a thing back then, but there's like certain bets now, like, will he do this in between the first and the second round,
Yeah.
And then I was like, I always had like this joke with like friends, like if we ever made it to like if any of our friends ever made it to like these, like basically like big events,
Yeah.
right? If like anything that could be bet on, I was like, hey bro, if you make it, you got to do this. We're like, the bet will be like, will he spin in circles, twirl on the floor, and do a cartwheel between the first and the second round? Put $1 million on that to hit for like $45 billion.
And then do it.
Right?
I
And then
know,
do
that'd be
it.
sick. That's an interesting idea too. I wonder if I don't know. Maybe people have done that. I'm not sure. I've never done that. I don't think that's it's out of my character to do that. But I always wondered. I always wonder if there's a time that people done that in their careers.
Yeah.
No,
No,
I've seen. I hear a lot of like stories where like refs would take bribes here and there. Not even refs, like judges.
Yeah, I mean that stuff's still like they're speculating a lot of NBA refs are still like to this day doing
I'm
that.
sure there's a lot that's going on that goes under the radar, because I had a friend who was kind of like the official for the I'm not gonna name names, but has told me stories about people trying to bribe them or giving them monetary gifts,
For boxing?
yeah, for boxing.
So like what would that entail? Like let's say you pay not you, but like let's say someone pays a ref off. Is it like they might end the fight in a certain way that shouldn't be ended?
Not
or
even
what's-
to the refs necessarily, it's to the judges.
for scoring.
Yeah, for scoring. Yep. So, I hear stories of people already having made up their mind on certain rounds, like 10 rounds, I'm going to score it this way. So, regardless if you think you won the round or not, or irregardless of if you beat the guy up in that round, you're still going to lose that round because in the judge's head, they've already made it up.
Right.
I've heard stories. And then there really was score the last 2 rounds only. So, if you make it up to the 10th round, they're really just going to score correctly the 11th to the 12th round. But it's all speculations. This is what I hear stories from.
I mean, dude, money runs everything. I wouldn't be surprised.
I never say that, I've caught anybody doing it or anything, but still, I think this is what I hear stories in the, being around the sport for so long.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, you hear through a grapevine and from credible people too, like guys who just talk about it live. It's like really high credible people that says, yeah, I've seen some weird things going on in this sport.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's why you just got to knock everyone out.
If you really want to win,
right?
That judge out of the equation.
So what did it feel like? I always want to know, like, what does it feel like knocking someone out? Just like in the ring?
Sometimes you don't see it happen, or you don't feel it happen. It just happens. Like you're not trying to yeah, you're trying to land shots and whatnot, but then I've had knockouts where I would look around and the guy wouldn't be in front of me. Like we'll be in an exchange, and then I look up and I'm like, oh damn, he's on the ground. We run to the corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've had those moments, So, and there's times where like you're looking for a shot and you think that shot should have knocked him out, but he's still in front of me, and that's frustrating. Because you hit it, you could feel it like go down your arm. You could feel it. Oh, that was perfect shot.
Yeah.
But why is he still standing there?
Right.
So then like, damn, this is gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long night. So they just put it together. What should I do? See if I can break them down now. So there's moments where you feel like you give it all you got, all the shots the best shots you got, but you're still there, and you got to make sure you got something extra left in the tank.
Interesting. All right, let's transition a little bit because I'm really curious. You're I wouldn't say so big, but you're getting bigger on the influencer side of things when it comes to boxing.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to like a lot of people that you'll read comments online. People will be like, as a boxer, this is disrespectful to our sport. I don't like how these influencers are trying to come in here and take over. I find it disrespectful. Jake Paul's calling out Canelo. But then you listen to Canelo or you hear these legit boxers speak on the matter. And it's like, he's like, I hope Jake Paul gets better. Like, I really want him to get better. Maybe we could talk about this in a few years if it does happen. And I've talked to you about it because you're coaching these people now. And it's like the people that are legitly in the sport don't find it as disrespectful as others might think.
When you do it right, you have to do it right, though. You know what I mean? There's so many angles you can try to dissect this whole situation, and the way I see it is it helps the sport get known a lot bigger. Because I had little nephews and nieces come up to me, and they're a little bit more interested in the sport now because of Jake Paul, because of the influencers, because of the people they follow on YouTube, which is great. Like, damn, now they're interested in watching it. Like, wow, thank you.
Yeah.
So thanks to you guys, thanks to the YouTube guys.
Not me, dude. I'm scared to step in that ring, bro.
But you know what I mean? So why would I say, these guys are not, these guys are just trying to take over? It's not. If they know how to stay in the lane, and if they want to get into the real or the main system, then fight the real guys. Right? But then, it's all about just the way they're marketing it. It's different. For me, it's like I want to help the people that wants to learn my craft. Great, but if you got to do it right, do it right. You know what I mean? Come up, put your cameras on the side, and let's get to work. So if you do it right, do it properly, spar with the right type of people, have some sort of respect that way. I'm all for it because I want to teach you the sport, my craft, and just hope that you get out of the ring safely. That's my main concern, is that you learn the right things, and you know how to protect yourself in there, and that you go home safely, right? Because you guys are still hitting each other.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how you package, the sport.
Right.
There's two guys still trying to hurt each other.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you strip everything off, regardless if a person that went through it when they were 6 years old or they started when they're 40 years old, if you know how to do it right, if you're training properly and give enough respect to the sport, then by all means, man.
Yeah.
Let me help you. If you want to help, if you want me to help you do it correctly, then I'll be there. I'll help you. Prepare yourself for the fight. Because at the end of the day, somebody's trying to knock you out. You know what I mean?
Right.
and you gotta make sure that you're coming out of that ring safely.
Right.
You know how to control that situation.
Interesting. So as long as the respect is there for the sport,
As long as the
people wanna
respect
do
is
it.
there, yeah. And boxing somehow has gained a resurgence in it because of YouTube boxing. Now there's more eyes, maybe from not the fan that we're used to in the real world, because sometimes we see the same fan, the fight fans, yeah. It was like, oh, then you call you a weekend warrior fan or something. Like, oh, you're just, you're
just a bandwagon?
Yeah, bandwagon.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what? You're still watching the sport. You don't have to tune into it.
Yeah.
If you're a really die-hard boxing fan, you don't need to tune into these things. But why are you tuning in and then shooting that down? I don't get it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true.
If you don't want to have it gain so much viewership or momentum,
Stop watching,
Stop watching
right?
it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Salt Poppy?
Solid is good. I like him. I met him and his family when we were up in London. That's how we first met.
Yeah.
Almost a year ago. And great skill. I've heard he had amateur experience before.
A lot of it too, which
Yeah.
I didn't know until
Yeah.
after that fight.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that makes sense. He came in like quiet.
Yeah. Like he was just like riding a lot of these guys have a little bit of amateur experience, like Waleed. Shark had a little bit of experience. IPAP. Was it IPAP or was his partner?
IPAP.
They fought Dean. One of the guys that he fought.
Oh, I don't know. The only
think
Waleed
IPAP.
was the one I was like, damn, okay, he's pretty solid.
Yeah.
But
But
no, Salt Poppy, the reason I bring that is like also Filipino and also like the way when we first met him, I did not think he was the boxer. Like honestly, I didn't think he was
aesthetically, he doesn't look like you know what I mean? Like a fighter.
the one. Yeah.
But so does John Ruiz. You know what I mean? Some of these guys doesn't look the part, but
Yeah.
then they're really fast. They're really quick. They got hand speed, like real quick. Saul Poppy doesn't look good, but he has a skill. He's left-handed. He knows how to throw a jab. He lost a close fight to Anthony Taylor, but I don't think his stock went down that much because I've heard Taylor was a fighter himself at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of losses.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
So, these guys just keep going at it. And I'm starting to see the level of talent kind of like closing in on everybody because everyone's wanting to learn how to fight correct and doing this, and they're trying to take it seriously now, more so. And seeing it, a lot of good guys coming up and coming up to who's the guy now. Like Stim is a great fighter. Jake has gotten better throughout all the fights that he's going through. Like you're starting to see guys like Dean, and so we'll see who comes out of the woodworks in terms of influencer boxing.
Yeah. I mean, you at that time you were coaching Evil Hero when I met you when we went
Yeah.
to London.
Yeah,
And
that was a really quick training camp. We didn't really have a training camp. It was like a week out.
yeah.
Yeah, his camp, he had a fall out with his camp, and he saw me training Wasabi, who was also on the same card.
Okay.
So I was training Alex. That's how I got into the scene. And Alex called me up, and we were working because he was fighting KSI.
Supposed to, right?
Yeah.
Which fell through and yeah.
Yeah, he had the concussion. I had one to fight. This is one of the reasons why, as well, when you do it right, sometimes you fight with guys who's very, very talented. And in our training camp, he just got, caught with a few shots, and I remember him calling me up that day and was like, "Listen, I've been vomiting," and told him to go look at a doctor, and that's when he got diagnosed with a concussion. So I was like, "Hey, I still got my ticket," and
I do, no, that was funny because you
Yeah.
were the only one that flew first class, and all of us were in the back. Because how they gave Alex
I was like, "Oh,
oh, that was
this is kind
hilarious.
of weird."
You're
I'm
up there
funny.
like with all the food and shit.
You guys were walking. I already had a champagne. My
Oh,
legs
that's
were already
true,
up.
dude. 'Cause
Yeah.
you were the first boarding group. We were the last, so you're already sitting on there, champagne legs.
Yeah, it was funny, and I felt bad. I remember a week out. Stuart calls me. I mean, Evil Hero called, and he was like, "Hey, can you help me out?" I'm like, "Yeah, I might as well."
You already have the
Yeah, I'm already gonna go to London. I'll be in your car. Don't worry about it.
yeah.
Yeah, so we had kind of like a a fast track to getting ready for that fight against Dean, who was like, his whole YouTube platform was fighting.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a very tough one. And so he jumped on. I sparred with him a couple of times. I dropped him like 5 times.
Who, Evil? Stuart?
Yeah, Stuart.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, come on, Stuart, you gotta do a lot better than this, bro.
Dude, I wouldn't want to walk in and start
Yeah, I was like,
sparring
no,
you.
You're gonna go fly over to London, get knocked out, really?
Dude, I would leave the camp if I walked
he was
in there and
dedicated. He
you're
came-
putting your gloves on.
He wanted it though. I'm like, all right. We got like a week and a half, man.
You guys got to see Brian like fake spar with me. He'll like put his chin, he'll like start bouncing around like this. I'm like, dude.
And I brought Scrap on board, Scrappy, and you know I made him spar with Scrappy a few times, and I'm like, but you know, like I said, I just wanted him to be safe.
Yeah.
Being there, making sure that he knows the right protocols in certain situations in the ring, because it's hard, it's tough, man. It's stressful when you get in there.
Yeah.
Most of the guys that goes in, it was one of his first times. I know he fought maybe 2 other instances.
Dude, the
fight.
crowd was nothing like what we
Oh
had
my
gone
god!
to before.
The first fight from the get go, I've never seen the whole Coliseum.
Yeah,
packed like that.
dude. First opening fight.
I walked out. I'm
holy
like,
shit.
what the hell? Usually, you come on like the last 2 fights
Yeah.
because everyone's just slowly trickling in. But this one, I've never seen a place that packed so early in the night.
Yeah. Even the weigh-ins, dude. Remember that?
Oh my god, that weigh-in was like a whole event on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was insane. That was like that was my first exposure to what influencer brings to the table, and I got it like that. I got it. The marketing that you guys do is what the YouTubers do, and the whole influential aspect of it. It was insane to me for those for that caliber to be already on that stage. I'm like, yeah. This is different.
Does the money shock you? The money aspect
Oh,
of it?
yeah. You know how many of these fighters get paid early in their career? Like $1,000.
Yeah.
$5,000. Regis for
now
his first fight.
these fighters being like, even the ones that are lower on the card are like fighting to get like low 6-figure marks at
Yeah.
times. It's like,
Yeah, I was like, when I saw it, I'm like,
I don't want to do it. It's 50K only. I'm like, damn.
yeah.
Right.
But not everybody. Now it's like beginning to kind of stave off a little bit.
Yeah.
But in that time, it was like a year ago. But it's kind of slowing down now. You know what I mean? It's not as much as like he's saying 6 figures now.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, what KSI was like, how many tens of millions did he get from that one fight? It's
I
like
don't know.
40 million or some ridiculous
I think
number.
it's conducive to how many followers you have, right?
Yeah, I mean, the impact KSI has out in London is just insane.
Yeah.
Like, if KSI was off that card, I don't think anyone would be there.
Yeah. But a lot of these kids, depending on your platform, depending on your fan base, I guess that's how they're looking at it right now. So if you got 20 million followers, 30 million, of course, you're gonna expect a bigger purse for you
Right.
to handle. But the guys are like 500K, 800. I don't think it's gonna be as big as 6 figures.
Right, that's true.
So you got to make sure you check. These guys check themselves. Like that, because a lot of these guys with like 500,000 followers, like, yo, I'm expecting $2 million. Like, yeah, business is not really like that, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think you're owed this much, but you really, what can you bring to the table?
Right. Right.
In terms of popularizing it or moving it forward, and bringing in the seats, and that's what most of these promoters care about anyway.
Yeah.
Can you put asses in the seats?
Right.
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 The last Misfits, it wasn't like the one in London.
And I saw that there was
Yeah,
not many people.
not many people.
Yeah.
So
I guess my last question is, going back to that Jake Paul thing, do you think Jake Paul ever has a shot of taking on Canelo?
the world is weird sometimes, especially in the sport. I never thought Floyd was gonna fight his brother. That was like very shocking. I didn't think Floyd was gonna go and fight Logan.
Which Logan says to this day that he won that fight. I don't know if you've heard that, but
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could never tell. I mean, Jake's fighting. He fought Anderson Silva, who was like a legend in UFC fighting. He just fought Nate. Will Canelo entertain it? I don't think at this point in his career, I don't think he will, because I feel like he has bigger things to do in the sport. Maybe a rematch against Bivol. Maybe
Which would be a great fight to see, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe coming down in the way and fighting one of the Charlo brothers. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe if he's retired or is coming towards the ending of his career, I think he's gonna entertain it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't think he ever wants, to mess around with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest with you. But like I said, that's just my thoughts. The world is crazy sometimes, especially in the boxing world. Yeah. And things happen. Right? And will I watch it? Hell yeah. I want to see Canelo. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Canelo, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot to bite off.
Right.
Canelo is still one of the elite fighters, in boxing.
Right.
He's still in his prime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I'll take him.
Yeah. That's a death wish. I would watch too. Yeah. I would have the pillow and the merchandise ready.
Dude, you bet on me, bro. You'll be rich, dude.
Put it right there. Yeah. It'll be a meme right here. Meme you out.
I could probably go 2 rounds.
Maybe 2 seconds.
I got my gloves here.
Just first shot. 2 seconds, maybe 20 tops.
I come with like fucking cotton balls all over my chin. I'm like, yeah, baby.
Just get the gurney ready. But man, yeah, Canelo and Jake, it's gonna sell out, I think. But I don't think Canelo even wants to He'll just be like,
yeah. I mean, dude, even you're right, because even going back to the whole Nate Diaz thing, they weren't entertaining that a year ago or 2 years ago. Yeah. Everything's changed. So
money speaks.
Yeah, but I mean, also Canelo's one of the top paid athletes in the world.
He's one of the biggest names in the sport of boxing. If not, the name is between him and Tank. Now Inoue, now Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? So there's big names. That's at the top right now in the boxing world, but influencer boxing, I feel like, a lot of people say it's celebrity boxing, which is kind of like that. It's kind of true. Should stay that, and boxing world should stay there. It's gonna be hard to try to merge everything in together. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Because the fighter world, these guys, that's all they got, right? Boxing.
Yeah.
Boxing. A lot of these kids start off when they're 4, 5, 6 years old, and they went through the whole system, the whole, amateur ranks, fighting 300 times, 200 times in the amateurs, and then the influencer world, which
they have a side gig for
big platform.
Yeah,
a lot of these fighters here are saying, "Why are you doing this?"
Right?
You know what I mean? Why? Why? But I get it. They want to see, who could be more skillful with their hands and a better platform. I know Jake wants to try MMA now.
I heard.
He said,
yeah,
hey, let's do it in your, we'll see how that goes.
I want to see that.
That's crazy.
I'd bet against Jake for sure on that, I think.
You think so?
I think so.
You think so?
Against Nate Diaz?
Nate?
I bet on Jake for boxing.
I mean, Jake did wrestle a little bit, though.
I thought Logan was more the wrestler, no?
Was it? Didn't they both wrestle? No.
Maybe. He's also way bigger. No, not really. He's bigger than the other MMA fighters he fought, but not bigger than Diaz. He's the same size, no?
But that's a lot of things to learn, right? It's like boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, kicking, elbows.
Yeah,
that's true. A lot. That's a lot of, ways to get knocked out.
I'm like Khabib, though.
Huh?
I'm like Khabib.
Yeah, I love Khabib, too.
That's I would compare myself to Khabib.
More like Bib.
Just
Bib. All the slobber that goes on it. Yeah, man. MMA, boxing, the fighting world in general, it's amazing. I think everybody should try it once in their life. See how they go. Because I don't think you know yourself, truly know yourself.
Until you feel that floor, huh?
Until you get punched in the face.
Right.
And they will figure out who you are, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to run? You going to fight back? You know what I mean? When you're under that fire, that type of stress, you'll see who you really are.
Yeah,
See
no,
what
dude,
you're capable of doing.
I sparred with Stuart one time.
You did?
Just like, I was like, dude, please don't hit me hard. Dude, he would like, every time I throw something, he would just like slightly, I'm like, damn.
It hurts.
He wasn't
Yeah.
even trying.
Really? You know, Stu hurts. He hits pretty hard.
Oh, dude,
Especially
he wasn't trying to hit me hard and it hurt.
No, Stu has a little bit of pop in it when I do miss with him. I can feel a little pop in his. He's heavy-handed. Technique is not, if he has the right, correct technique. If I had more than a week and a half to train him,
Yeah.
Against his fight against Dean, then it would have been a little bit better. I would hope, but he has heavy hands, and some guys are just born with it or not.
Remember Roger? I did this character, Roger.
Fucking
where,
love
like,
Roger.
If you he had this whole concept, right? Of like, if
Yeah.
you're leaned back far enough in a fight, no one can ever hit your face.
Yeah.
So it's like he'll walk up to the fight, just like head back here, so he's never getting knocked out. Like, he might take some body shots.
Oh
but
no,
he's never getting
the
knocked
body
out.
shots are worse though.
Not when you're Roger.
Body shots are. I would rather have headshots than body shots. It's debilitating. It sticks with you for like days.
I remember Stu was saying like he walked into the gym and you were just there and you were telling him to hit you harder and your hands were just down.
Yeah.
You were like, stick your head out. I mean, hit me.
You're like, oh,
He's like, hit me harder. I'm like, oh my God.
Because I just want him to get desensitized to like trying to, because he was holding back. I'm like, why are you holding back, bro?
Knock me out.
Yeah. I can't even hit you. I'm trying to hit you. Like, well, we gotta try to hopefully expedite this thing. This is how Dean's gonna fight you.
Yeah.
So we had like his kind of style, and yeah, I just wish I had a longer time
A
with
little
him.
longer. All right. I think that's a
week.
good place to wrap it up.
Yeah, but it was great seeing you again.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys can go follow Brian at
Viloria Boxing on my IG. I have YouTube. I don't know if I should start my YouTube up again. I tried doing it, a few years ago. I'm Brian Viloria.
Brian Viloria. Go watch his knockouts too, because they're.
But yeah, man, it was great. It was my pleasure. Let me know if you ever want to get into influencing boxing. Call out Saul Poppy.
I just go right for the big dogs.
Poppy, he wants you, bro.
Come on, Poppy.
He
Saul
wants
Poppy,
you.
I want you, baby.
Slim, he wants you.
Slim.
KSI, he wants you.
Floyd, I want you.
Floyd, no. No.
Brian Viloria, I want you.
You got me right here, me. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's square up before we call it. Hold on, can you fix
Square
this
up.
webcam? I got 4 inches on him.
4 inches.
Below the waist.
He's only got 4 inches.
I'll go this way. That's the thumb. Oh my God.
Go like this. You have to go like this.
Yeah, my booty's like blocking it all. All right, thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you guys for watching.
I'll see you guys on next week's episode. Make sure you subscribe and take care.
Aloha.
Aloha, baby.